Hello everybody, it's Andy here from AIM Media Games. In this video I'm going to be going over how to fully set up a cloth simulation and an interactable cloth simulation inside Unreal Engine 5. I'm going to do this all in Engine rather than the old method of creating a mesh in Blender, exporting it, etc, etc. So the first thing I'm going to do, you can see here I'm on the third person starter content for Unreal Engine, one of the projects, and we need to add in a mesh. So let's go to modeling, and we're going to do a rectangle so we can place that into our level. But as it is right now, it's pretty much just one face, so it'll be two triangles connected point A to point B. This will be a triangle and this will be a triangle, so imagine like a halfway divide. We need more subdivisions to be able to utilize a better effect and achieve a better result, should I say, with our cloth simulation. So with our widths subdivisions, we're going to go and set our width to 60 and our depth to 60. And you can see if I move this up and change the wireframe, let's go to wireframe, you can see now we have a 60 by 60 grid space on our plane. If we decrease this, you can see that we also get this horrible stretched triangles, and this will give us a bad or poor result when it comes to doing cloth painting. So let's set this to 60 so it's even on both, and we have all of these faces that we can work with. So we're going to click accept, come out of wireframe, and now we have this nice subdivided flat plane that has been automatically converted into triangles. Okay, so now that we have this flat plane, you can see here we also need a, let me get rid of these. We also need a skeletal mesh. So we're going to right click, convert to skeletal mesh, click convert. And once it's done that, it will give us this skeleton and our skeletal mesh. And we're going to double click and open this up. Let's pop that there. So here we have that flat plane. Again, it's just a 2D cube. Sorry, 2D square, not cube. Cube would be three-dimensional. So we've got our 2D square here, our plane, and we want to paint this. So you can see here we have activate cloth paint just at the top. I have done multiple tutorials on cloth, but I keep getting requests how to collide with the player. I did do a short tutorial recently and uploaded it, but I thought I'd do it from start to finish, so it's a little bit easier to follow, just in case people get confused. So we're going to go to activate cloth paint, and we want to select this, right click, we want to create clothing data from our selection, which is this, and then we can just do create. Then we need to click here, and now we can see we have this small circle where we can paint the vertices of this object to give it a data value between 0 and 1. So let's say, for example, 0 is non-movable and 1 is movable. If we paint on this, this would be 1, this would be 0. So pink is 0, white is 1, and somewhere in between. So let's go down to our paint value. So we can see here, let's just say, for example, 1, 0. So 0 is black here, but if we keep painting it, it changes it to pink. So that's our 0 value. And if we go back to 1, you can see it's white. So anything that's pink won't move. Anything that's white will move. So this will be simulated cloth. This won't move at all. So what we can do is we can paint all over this mesh and give us our cloth data that our chaos cloth system needs. So let's say, for example, you have like a dining table and you only want the edges of the I can't think of any words tonight. You only want the edges of the cloth that's dangled over the edges of your table to be reactable to maybe character movement. If you crouch under a table to hide, then you would, let's say the table is here and these are the edges that are hanging over the sides, you would just paint where you want it to move up until the point where the table is in contact with the cloth, and then you wouldn't paint it at all. So you've got good control there of how the effect would look. So let's paint all of this. Now, something will happen if we paint all of it. The cloth will just fall to the floor. So all of here is all painted. And then we want to go back. We want to drop our size down. So let's go to radius. Set this to like maybe 3. Let's change our view. Let's go over here. I'm just gonna paint this corner up here all the way. Let's go all the way across. Like so. Okay, once we've painted this, if we then deactivate, click, right click and apply, we now have our clothing data, or our cloth data, whatever you want to call it. So we can delete this one, drag in our skeletal mesh, bring that up, rotate it, and then if we go and simulate, you can see that it falls down here. So let's rotate this again, so it's that way, and then rotate it this way by 90. And now if we simulate, it should just hang straight down. You can see there that it's starting to curl and move away around at the edges. So there's a few things that we need to do. If I was to go into the game now and play, I'm not too sure where my character's even gone. Oh yeah, let me just fix my character. Bear with me 1 second. Visible and hidden in game, no. I was messing about with something. So you can see it's quite small, but there's no reaction to the character at all. The third person character just walks straight through it. Now we can make this a little bit bigger, like so. Let's check the size. Yep, still nothing. Let's bring this down a little bit. Now in here, if we scroll down, we should have our cloth settings, clothing here. We're going to do collide with environment, and if we go in, you can see it isn't colliding with our character. Now that's because they changed back in 5.1, or in fact back in 5.0, Unreal Engine 5's release date. This used to just work straight off the bat with the character collision capsule, which is this one here, this salmony pinky coloured thing going around. This is your collision capsule component, and this basically goes around the player, and it can be used for things like if your player can fit through a doorway or not, and it's what's colliding with the environment and enabling you or stopping you from falling through the world in most cases. So back in 5.0, it used to just work straight away. For some strange reason, don't ask me why, I don't know, they decided to change the way they calculate collision data between the character and cloth. So what you have to do, very oddly, is in your character, if you scroll down to your collision let's get rid of this. You'll notice here, where's it gone? There it is. You've got your collision presets. So we're going to add in a capsule component or capsule collision, and I'm just going to bring this up to about here, and then I'm going to give this a custom collision block all, and then I'm going to change and leave this to all dynamic and then compile and save. So now if we go in, it still won't collide, nothing happens, right? You walk through, no change. So in here now, if we go and change from object type, this cloth sim is looking for world static objects. So if I was to drag in a cube or a sphere and set this to, let's just say, let's have a look, see what this one's set to. I've gone past it, haven't I? And let's just see how this goes. Simulate. So you can see here, it's colliding with the environment because it's really annoying that it does this, but this is obviously a world static. It's a static object. It can't move, but you don't want that to be the case for your player. You want to be able to move. So if we change our capsule component to world static, watch it not work now, and then you go back in, you'll see that we're not getting collision, but if you change to, what is it, this one, you change this to force collision updates, you can see that it does work. But the problem you've got is you end up with this weird glitchy kind of interaction, right? You can see that circle there forming because the capsule component is rotated and it's stretching the cloth material as the character walks through. So what I've found works best is if you add your own little capsule armor to your character. So we're going to call this one our cloth collider. We're going to attach it to our mesh character, and then in here, let's go all the way to the top, and we're going to click on our mesh character and we're going to pause animation because we don't want it to be moving while we're trying to set the position for our capsule component. So we're going to go and pause anim, which will freeze our skeletal mesh or character, sorry, mesh in place. We're going to click on our cloth collider. I'm going to go to our parent socket. I'm going to go and look for head, and then we're going to get rid of our location transform by clicking this undo arrow, and now we have a capsule component that is connected to the character head, which will update its position constantly in real time, which will give us a better interaction. So let's shrink this down to get the size that we want. Once it's relatively the appropriate size, so something probably like this will do for most cases. Then what we can do is Control C, Control V, and now we have another one. And then in here we can then attach this to, let's do upper arm left, and then again you can set excuse me, the size. Let's rotate this, let's move this down a little bit, and then let's elongate this capsule a tiny amount, bring that down, bring the size in. So there we have our capsule component on our arm. There you go, just like this. And then we can Control C, Control V, and then we can set this one to arm right, which should be upper arm right. Clear the position data and then drag that down. There we go. So now we have this collider and these two colliders. Now if I compile that and go into the game, you'll see when I walk, oh yeah, I've disabled the animation, didn't I? So let's go to our mesh and click pause anims. There we go. You can see here that we're getting a reaction from our colliders that we set up, right? We just need a bit of a better one. So let's keep going. Let's go and adjust some more and place more of these. So we've got this one, and now we need to do another, so let's place another one. So let's pause the animation, go to our collider 3, and this one's going to be arm lower. Let's do lower arm left, drag that down, just like so. Control C, Control V, and then we're going to do arm again, and then we're going to do lower arm right. Move that into position, just like so. That'll do. Control C, Control V. And you're just going to go through each one of these and place it in a position or an area where you want the cloth to be, or to register a collision. So we're going to do our chest. Let's have a sort of clavicle left. It's going to be top of our left side of our chest. Let's have a look from the side here. Let's make this a little bit bigger, just like so. Shrink that in a little bit and move that in position. And then we're going to Control C, Control V. Don't worry about this, it's not going to affect performance. You get people in the comments to go, this is going to seriously irritate or destroy the performance that you get. It won't. I'm using it in a game that I'm working on with somebody else at the moment, and it's perfectly fine. So we need to copy this one, and this one needs to go to clavicle right, I believe. Oh no, yeah, no, it was left, wasn't it? Oh no, it was right. Okay, I was right the first time. No pun intended. That one there. So this is going to go here. Move that forward. Move that one back a little bit. So there we have our two upper chest clavicle bone colliders. Let's copy this one, and then we're going to go for, let's have a look. We'll do our center of mass. So let's do our hip area. Let's rotate this. Bring this over. This in. We could probably, yeah, let's check this. Let's make this one actually trying to think of the best place to place them. Let's do hand left. Let's do reset position, reset rotation, and let's do reset scale. Start fresh, bring that down, 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 just like so. Move that down a little bit. Rotate this. So there we have our hand collider. Let's do the next one. This is going to be our, let's do hand right. Yeah. Let's rotate that. Let's move that in position just like so. And then we need to do this section as well. So let's see the difference now. So there you can see it's definitely colliding. Let's just turn them animations back on. Actually, we'll do that in a minute. So we're going to add some more. So I know this is a really tedious process. I know some people will be like, oh, why don't you make the video shorter? Well, I could make the video really short, and then people say, I didn't understand that step that you did. So I'm doing it all in real time, just like you will. So you can follow along or not follow along. It's entirely your prerogative to do so. If you like the help, you like it. If you dislike it, then you dislike it. It's entirely your choice. So we'll do pelvis bone. Let's do this one as well. Let's bring that up. That up. Don't make it look rude now. Okay, let's rotate this. Just like so. Bring that out, and then let's move that up. Shrink that down a little bit. So we have some kind of collision in the center. That should be okay there. We need to also do upper body. Okay, so for now, that is perfectly fine. We have collision around the upper part of the body. Let's check our character movement, and let's check our walk speed. Let's change that down to, let's say, 150. Let's do reset our animations. This one, that's it. And then if we walk into this, you can see here that we do get our collision. So how do we make it look better? So in our cloth, what we can do is, if we highlight our clothing data, we go down to chaos cloth config, and then in here we want to do self collision spheres, and then we also want to go to animation, not animation, sorry, go down to the bottom where it says sim config. I want to go simulation. I want to change the iteration count to, like, let's say 4 sub divs. We can leave as standard. Collision thickness we can leave as that. Let's do like maybe 0.3. Friction coefficient, this is how much it will stick to the object that it's colliding with. So that's 0.3. Self collisions, we'll do like 0.3 or 0.2. And that, let's check this now. There you go. So now we have a more realistic cloth interaction between the player and the sheet on the floor, right? So no matter where you walk into this, you might get some artifacts, like when the player walks through. You can fix that by playing around with the settings in here. So if, let's say, collision thickness, set that to 1. Let's see what this looks like now. There you go. So it does look much better, but that will work fine. You can increase the look of it again by doing iteration count and setting this, even like set that to 10. The higher that is, the more performance heavy it will be, but the cloth will look a little bit more realistic. So I hope this video helps, at least for some people. I have had quite a lot of questions on this. How do you make the character collide? It's the same process in a first-person game. So if you open up your first-person character BP, if you go to character mesh, I think from memory, the first-person template has the little arms, and when you run into the gun, it picks it up and you can fire that little tiny sphere, the little orange balls. In the first-person character blueprint, the little arms, the entire mesh is there. There is a skeletal mesh, like a left arm, right arm, clavicle, lower leg, upper leg, etc. You can create and form your own collision mesh in there, the same method you've just done and watched me do on here. But yeah, I hope this helps. I hope at least it helps somebody. If you do want to create it so it's two-sided, you're just going to create a material. Let's do a quick one. Cloth, two-sided. You're going to create a material, double click it, open it up, press 3 and left click, connect that to base color. You don't have to if you want a new version, by the way. You don't have to create anything if you just want to create a basic material. You can just click here, control the color, click here, control the roughness. So you can put it as 0.2 if you want. Specular, you can set it to 1 if you wanted to. You can change the metallic value or the metalness. And then if you click on this, go to here, two-sided, click apply, and then drag and drop. And now if you go to the other side, you'll be able to see through. So I hope this helps. As I've said before, and I've repeated myself. But yeah, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.